Bonjour les étudiants, comment ça va? J'espère que tout va bien. This week, one of the things you're going to learn about is one of the things that makes the French language sound so melodic. The thing that gives it maybe the most beautiful lilt in the world. It's called the liaison, and it's in pronunciation. It links together the final sound in one word that's normally silent and the first sound in the next word when it's a vowel or a silent H. Let me break that down. You've already heard me say this 1,000 times in phrases like bonjour les étudiants. So, bonjour, hello, les étudiants, the students. Les, the word for the, is normally pronounced lay, but even though it's spelled L-E-S, that final S is not normally pronounced. However, when it is followed by a word that begins with a vowel or a silent H, suddenly that S comes to life. And it's pronounced like the English Z. So it becomes, instead of les, les. And it sort of slides together with that next word. So it becomes les étudiants. You hear how it says les étudiants. And it sort of gives it that beautiful transition from one word to another. One of the things that makes French very lilty as a language is this liaison. Instead of it being choppy, like maybe English, where we pronounce each and every single word separately, we don't mesh together many words at all. Or other languages like German, for example, that's known for being sort of choppy. Each word is pronounced very separately. So one of the things that you're going to be working with this week is that liaison. One of the things that you're going to be practicing with that liaison is the plural of that un et une, which is they or some, D-E-S. Again, just like lay, it's normally pronounced they, like the English they, but it's spelled D-E-S. That S is normally silent on the end of the word. However, when it's followed by a word that has a vowel at the beginning, you start pronouncing that S as the liaison, and it becomes that Z sound. So in the sentence, il y a des crayons sur la table, there are some pencils on the table. Des crayons, two very distinct words. But in the sentence, il y a des étudiants dans la salle de classe, des now gets that final S pronounced with the liaison, des étudiants dans la salle de classe. Something else that you're going to be reviewing and working more with this week is the negation in French. So when we want to say something is not the way, whatever the verb is, we're going to use two words, ne and pas. The ne and the pas form a sandwich around the verb. So let's look at our verb, être, to be. I have it over here. Get you a little closer. This should look familiar from last week. Je suis would be I am. Je ne suis pas is I am not. Tu es would be you are, but tu n'es pas is the you are not. Now, attention, you'll see right here, the ne, the N-E, the first part of that sandwich, I used the N-E, whoops, I can't get the marker off, there we go. The N-E is here, but I crossed it off. Why is that? Because A here starts with a vowel. One of the things that makes that French liaison also fluid, or the language fluid, is that you don't finish a word with a vowel and start with a word with the next vowel very often. So instead, they prefer to make it an apostrophe, sort of like we would do with our conjunctions. Tu n'es pas. Continuing on, il est, he is, or il n'est pas, he is not. Again, the NE here, that's the first part of that negative sandwich, gets crossed off and the E gets dropped. It becomes an N and an apostrophe. Il n'est pas. Elle, she is, L-A. This is one of the times where the E finishes the L word and starts the next word, A, but it's because this isn't pronounced, L-A. But if you want to say she is not, elle n'est pas. Again, we've got the N apostrophe. Nous ne sommes pas. Regular, nous ne sommes pas. We are not. Or nous sommes, we are. Vous n'êtes pas. The NE becomes the N apostrophe. Vous n'êtes pas, you are not. Ils sont, they are, or ils ne sont pas. Again, the regular NE and the pas at the end make it a negative sandwich. Elles ne sont pas. They are not. So that's how the French sandwich their verbs in order to make it a negative verb. In English, we would say, it is not, if that's the word, if it's the verb to be. But in French, they're just going to use the ne pas. And attention, if that verb begins with a vowel, you're going to make that ne into an N apostrophe. I think that's all for right now. But if you have questions, just email me. I'm always excited to hear from you and happy to answer your questions. A bientôt.